Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro and creator of the popular program How to Expand Your Reach, Impact More Lives, and Get Your Message Out to a Wider Audience. Now, I am fired up here today because I had a really good phone call. It had to do with a point that I wanted to be able to make to you, talking about working through objections and working through objections inside of the enrollment conversation, all right? Because a lot of times when you talk about being able to sign on paying clients, what happens? You're having a good conversation, you're taking notes, they're taking notes, they're nodding, you're making a lot of sense. They're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be really good. They're telling you how good, they're asking some more questions, and you're thinking to yourself, oh wow, this is really working out. This is going to be really, really good. And then the money part comes up, right? And we've all been there before. The money part comes up and it seems like things just kind of slow down. You try to make a point because you're feeling a little bit nervous. They can tell that you're feeling a little nervous, so they try to come back. Then the conversation starts getting awkward. What was once nice and easy, happy, breezy, has all of a sudden turned into this awkward exchange. And now you'll be happy if you even get the deal. All right. So one of the things I want to talk about, I talk about this a lot, which is the idea of being able to get business without being pushy, and being able to do so inside of that money conversation, because let's just face it, the mortgage doesn't pay for itself, does it? And in order to be able to have something where you're able to move forward as a business owner, you're going to have paying clients. In order to get paying clients, you have to have the money conversation. But in order to have the money conversation without feeling pushy, salesy, or otherwise over the top, this is one of the things that you're going to want to get through. Okay, so let me give you the situation that I had yesterday, actually. Signed on a client yesterday, which is nice. All right, so what happened was we were talking, going over some different things, and one of the programs and stuff that I've got, and she said, I went through the whole deal, and then she's like, oh, okay, well, can you send me over some more information, right? Now, right off the bat, you're only going to have like 2 or 3 what I would call objections, okay? And one of the people who really changed my perspective on that, his name is, oh my God, Taylor Welch from the Sales Mentor, okay? And he says objections is not something that you handle. Okay, what you're doing is you're working through them. So handling is kind of like a contentious thing. He doesn't like that energy. He's like, you just want to work through them. All right. So she says to me, can you send me some more information? Because we had talked a lot about stuff and, I brought it together, but she's like, can you send me some more information? And I was like, yeah, no problem. I can absolutely do that. But here's what I did. All right. So the original way that most people do is they say, yes, I can. And the conversation is kind of over. And then you're kind of in chase mode to try to get them back. No, 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 no. Here's what you want to be able to do. I actually wrote this down because, I wanted to remember it. All right. So here's what I said. I said, I have no problem sending you some more information, but based on what you've already heard so far, does it sound like something you might be interested in? Let me say that again. I have no problem sending you some more information, but based on what you've heard so far, does it sound like something you might be interested in? Now, why is that such a good line? Part of it, when you're talking about working with people and going through the money conversation without seeming pushy or salesy, you want to first acknowledge what they're saying to you. So if somebody says they want to send, can you send me some more information? You don't be like, well, you don't need anything. Or sometimes you see in these sales magazines, well, what information do you need? And you get all contentious and how do you got? And haven't we already covered everything? Right? You don't need that. I have no problem sending you some information, so you acknowledge their need for the information. That's no problem. But instead of just stopping right there and saying, oh, okay, and that's it, you say, but based on what you've heard so far, how does it sound? Does it sound like something you'd be interested in? And she was like, yeah, actually, from what I'm hearing, and then you let her talk. So from what I'm hearing, it's this, it's that, it's going to help me with some of these things over here, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, we went a little bit back and forth. And then I said to her, all right, listen, it sounds like that you feel good about this. It sounds like, because we agreed on the price and all that other stuff. I said, listen, it sounds like this is something that you feel, good about. How about we do this? How about we schedule a time? And we do the first session. This is how I normally do things. I say, how about we do this? We'll schedule a time, we'll do the first session. I'll take a deposit, if that's okay, and I will give you the money back if after the first session you don't like it, for whatever reason. And I'll still send you the more information, like you can take a look at that, because I always do that anyway, but how does that sound in terms of reasonability? She's like, yes. I was like, okay. All right. So what happens is when people are saying certain things, like they're giving you an objection, whether it's more information or I need to talk about it or think about it or all that other stuff, just say, yes, I totally understand that. Acknowledge it. Don't try to blow through it. Don't try to go past it. Yes, I totally understand that. But based on what you're hearing right now, based on what you know so far, does this sound like it might be of interest? And if not, that's totally fine. I even say that sometimes. I don't know if I said that yesterday, but if not, that's totally fine. And then you will get an answer. All right. So that's a real easy way to be able to get through the tail end of the money conversation when objections come up. It's something that I obviously just used, and it's something that I'm prepared for going into. And I talked about Taylor Welch's sales mentor training. Because of him, I'm now more prepared for those objections that come up versus before I'd be like, oh, okay, let me just go. Okay, they're not interested. And then chase mode. Okay, but I don't do that anymore. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it's something that you can see yourself doing. As always, feel free to like, share, or comment below. We'd love to be able to hear from you. We've got some really good stuff, and I actually respond to all of the comments personally. Or if you'd like, look us up on Facebook. We've got a nice little community talking about how, it's actually the community is talking about some straightforward ways to be able to expand your reach and impact more folks and get your message out to a wider audience. So if you want, you can look us up on there as well. Brian Hilliard, you can absolutely do that, and we are good to go. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.